What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of TV Talk. This week we're talking about WandaVision episode 4. Let's just get right into it. We're going to do spoilers, of course. Spoiler alert. Oh my gosh. Luke, first impressions.
Wow. Wanda's definitely going crazy.
Yeah, this was and it doesn't surprise me, this being the essential point of the season. This is the turn where we're actually learning things. The setups, the table has been laid, and now we're starting to see a peek behind the curtain. What'd you think of that first shot of the episode? Do you remember it?
I don't know. I feel like I watched it so long ago now. Remind me.
It's Monica Rambeau being
Oh, the getting
unblipped,
what did Peter Parker
unsnapped.
call it? Yeah. Yeah, that was actually pretty unexpected. And it was really cool to see everybody just re-emerging back into the world, and everybody's like freaking out.
Yeah.
Like we got the comedy version of it in Spider-Man: Homecoming, where they're like playing basketball, and all of a sudden the band
Yeah.
reappears and all that stuff. But like this was like everybody freaking out in the hospital, and doctors running around going, "I'm actually not going to do my job right now. My wife might be coming back."
Right.
Like that was really cool.
Yeah, very. It was nice. It was a very unexpected start to an episode. That's very different from what we've been getting so far. You know, the first 3 episodes were very, Wanda and Vision. Here's an episode of their show, which apparently is a show in universe.
Yep.
And this, it's like we're getting like a follow up to Endgame and Captain Marvel, and we're seeing a little bit of what the world looks like outside of after Endgame. So
Yeah.
we do get a little more closure on Monica's mother, who passed away from
Maria. Yeah.
who passed away from passed away from cancer a couple years after the blip. And just seeing her wrestle with that, even though it's not very long. I mean, it's, for one scene, that was really a nice way to start this episode, I thought.
I thought it's just kind of nice. Like I really like the stuck in a sitcom kind of thing they were going for, but it was also just nice to kind of get back into the normal.
Yeah.
Um, and to see the other perspective of what is going on.
Yeah.
Like just what is going on. We've just been watching a sitcom and it's been weird, and I've liked how they haven't just told us everything we need to know. But it was nice to get some answers.
Agreed.
And I thought they did it in a really, really cool way.
Yeah. So after we get a 3 weeks later kind of mention after Monica comes back, she shows up at Sword, which is the symbol that she's wearing on her necklace in the episode 3. Wanda asks her about that. So we see a little bit more about that. We see her kind of her successor there in Tyler. I was going to say Hamilton. That's not right. Hayward. He looks like a fishy character to me. I hope he ends up being nice. But even a little later on, Darcy mentions about kind of like, oh, like he's kind of snarky. He seems super fun to be around. I wonder if
I think that's kind of just her though. That's her.
Yeah.
Just rail on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The actor just kind of seemed like all right, here you go, and he's gone. Like
Sure.
I feel like we're not really going to be dealing with him a lot. Like I think it's going to be Monica, Darcy, and Jimmy Woo.
Well, yeah, and Jimmy Woo, we get confirmation here that he was the voice in the radio, and oh my gosh, I've missed him. I think I don't realize how good of an addition to the MCU he is.
He's great.
Yeah,
Also,
he's
loved the
so
magic
funny.
trick he did
Yes, little callback to
to Ant-Man and the
Ant-Man and the
Wasp. Yeah,
Wasp.
that was great.
Um, and then we, after we meet him, we learn a little bit more about the energy field.
Hmm.
Steph was theorizing all about what she thought that might be made of, or is it just, is it something that Wanda is creating? Does it have something to do with, quantum realm? She kind of thought it looked like it was made out of the same kind of special effect material esque as what it looks like when you kind of go into the quantum realm at the very beginning. That has, we've seen the quantum realm has time altering capabilities. And then yeah, Monica just gets right in.
Yeah.
um,
I don't know if it really reminds me of everything. I just when they like touch it, I see like what happens when you touch an old TV.
yeah, it does.
Hands get staticky and it's super pixelated. So I don't know if that's just kind of what they're going for because she created this little dome of sitcom television where she and Vision can be together,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's even something more where it's a different realm, all the different realms we went to in like Doctor Strange or even the quantum realm. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, heck, it could be the TV realm. That could be a realm that we.
Very
I
true.
don't know.
It could be something that we've not even encountered yet. Yep. So then we get the sword set up shop. We meet Darcy and a couple of her companions who we don't really care about. All we care about is Darcy. And she's back and honestly hilarious. I think she's
I
great.
can't stand her character. I didn't like her in any of the Thor movies. I think she's so unnecessary. And honestly, my biggest complaint about this episode is not really with her as a character. It's just they figured everything out so quick in this episode. She sits down and she's like, "Oh, it's a massive energy spike from the Big Bang or whatever. This is exactly what it is. Get me a TV." And they're watching it, and I was like, "It's been less than a minute, and you've just figured everything out."
Yeah,
So, and I think the complaint about that is kind of something that we've all complained about with, and that's these episodes are so short.
there just isn't the
You could have
time to really explore it.
mm, you could have drawn that out a little bit, I feel like, and had some mystery of be like, what is going on here? Is it this? No, this no. Oh, it's this. Crazy. She created TV
Yeah,
Land.
yeah. I do think it's kind of funny the banter. No, maybe not banter, but conversations that Jimmy Woo and Darcy have about the show. Like one of the little prop helicopter, they discover that it was in the episode. They're like, why did it change back to like an old style? Oh, maybe just the production design. you know, like there's this meta commentary or comedy that's woven in there really well. At least I think so.
Yep.
We also learn a little bit about the residents. The residents are the actors in the show. And from last episode, it seems like at least some of them are aware of it to some degree. I'm
Yeah.
very curious. We don't get like a full everyone in that we've seen and or mentioned. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
I think they're aware that something isn't
Mm.
right. I don't know if they know they're in a show, but like last week's episode, they're like, "Who's this random chick that showed
Yeah.
up? She doesn't have a house. She's been here for 2 days. Like, who is she?" So that's a kind of they knew that was off,
Yep.
but I don't think they fully realized that like Wanda's potentially really messing with their minds right now.
Yeah. Well, and we see, I'm curious with the cops near the beginning of the episode. They are outside the force field and go back into it, and Monica obviously goes in, and then the Agent Franklin, the beekeeper, the guy who's like hazmat suit gets changed into a beekeeper outfit. They go in and out, but we really don't know at this point, like whatever this either selective amnesia is or how it really affects their mental state, because we haven't seen Agent Franklin's interactions after he goes through and comes out of the sewer. We haven't seen Monica. She's been essentially knocked out, getting pushed out of the area. The only ones we've seen functional are the police officers, and I'm not convinced that those just aren't some sort of projection from Wanda at this point.
Yeah, or maybe they didn't even know that if they went in, if everything would change.
Yeah.
They might have been like, this isn't our town. All right, we're gonna go back to the police station, and then 50s cop all over again.
Right.
It's like, what? Um, but I have a question because I can't remember,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of leads into a theory. Did they ever say who Dottie was? The lady who cuts her hand.
No, not yet.
Okay. Super sus that they didn't give her that they found everybody's identity. Like, I feel
Yeah, there's
like
that aren't
the
mentioned.
people we've met.
Dottie, of the ones we've met, Dottie's one that I find super sus, and then the other one is Angie's or Angus's husband, Ralph. Ralph is mentioned all the time, but we haven't
All the
seen
time.
that.
Yep.
And my theory is that he's the missing person, and he may be someone. He'll be important either as someone we haven't seen or someone we have. I know that seems like a really
Yeah.
easy, like, it's either, he's either part of the Thing or he's part of the MCU in a way that would justify Jimmy Woo flying from Oakland to Westview, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Because even like she cuts her hand open and it bleeds red. Like we can see the color, which was sus in
yeah.
itself. And like they're going through all the people's names and they're like, here's this. And I was like, oh, they didn't mention that one. Um, yeah, I'm curious who she's gonna turn out to be.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm like really curious about is something that Darcy mentions, which is it doesn't seem the broadcast itself doesn't seem intentional. At
Yeah,
least on the end of Wanda. Like, why would Wanda broadcast this? Is the broadcast itself just a side effect that is happening unintentionally? Is someone broadcasting it and or then censoring it? Um, Other than Wanda, I guess is my thought, because it seems like maybe this could all just be it could all be Wanda, or it could be someone manipulating to some degree. What are your thoughts on that, Luke?
I think it's both. I I I don't think you can. I mean, it comes down to I don't think you can. I think you can't have a villain, no villain,
Sure.
big villain. Um, and like if it was just Wanda is the bad guy. Okay, so then what's Multiverse of Madness going to be about? Because she's going to be a supporting character in that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not going to have her be a good guy anymore.
Right.
Um, no, they're not going to do that. So I think it's partially somebody is using her powers against her, but she's unknowingly making the TV show.
Sure.
Um, like what am I trying to say here? She's not trying to make the TV show. It's station of I will do whatever it takes to be with Vision.
Yeah, and speaking of Vision, the like one moment we get away from the rest of the group is right after it's essentially the end of episode 3, after she's booted out Monica and has kind of fixed up the walls, and Vision comes in and she sees him as dead Vision. as the Vision with the stone by Thanos and that gaping hole and
Yeah.
those white eyes.
It was
Uh,
almost like a horror jump
it,
scare
it
moment.
it caught me off guard in a very
Yeah.
a very strong way. Whoa.
You're like,
Um,
ooh.
so
I and that like this kind of jumping back a little bit, but with that, I was so happy when they were watching the broadcast
mhm.
and Jimmy Woo and Darcy were like, he's dead. He's
Yes.
super dead.
Yeah. It was
And
another one of those things where it's like we're referencing the greater MCU in a way that makes sense to all of us. We're all asking the same things, right? He's
hmm
dead.
yeah, they're kind of they're us in this show, the audience character. What is going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, the dead Vision, and then with him just being like, "What are you doing?" And then she just kind of reverses everything real quick again. She's like, "What are we watching on TV tonight, baby?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, "Hello, Wanda, what are you doing?"
This is some Frankenstein weekend at Bernie's
hmm
uh
Yep.
crazy stuff. Any other thoughts, Luke?
Oh, what else? I think so far the best part about this show has been how well they execute their endings.
Mm-hmm.
The last 5 minutes of every episode, I'm just like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Like in like the first two episodes were a lot smaller,
Mm-hmm.
and then last week was the I was a twin conversation,
Yep.
and then this week with Dead Vision, and every week, every episode is just like if you can end your episodes that strongly, then you'll keep me going each week.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I
despite
mean,
the
but
fact that they're
outside of that,
short
all the
episodes,
episodes are
like
good. So
I'm showing up if you can.
yeah,
It's I've always been skeptical is not the right word, but certainly critical, or I haven't been too thrilled with a lot of the superhero shows that are out there. Um, I'm looking at UCW, and I mean, but like Agents of Shield, which I think was fine, but was hardly a super show. And not that this was even really that much of a superhero show, but it takes place in that universe and it's tied in like tightly enough that they've definitely convinced me that you can do it even with short episodes. And I'm it's making me a little disappointed that DC hasn't upped their game in a number of years.
they've done some very different things. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've watched some of Agents of Shield. I haven't finished. It does get a lot more
Oh,
superhero
does it?
centric. Yep. It's really just the first season that really isn't in there.
Okay.
Um,
It shows how much I paid attention to it after the first season.
um, but yeah, the CW is kind of all over the place. And then with DC Universe and I guess now HBO Max, we'll see if DC can kind of keep that going. But yeah, Marvel is off to a really good start
Yeah.
with WandaVision.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed. I think the one thing that stood out to me yet that I wanted to mention in terms of looking ahead, what do we think is important? Something that Jimmy Woo wrote on his board when he's taking notes is hexagons question mark, and we see that
yeah.
apparently the shield isn't, it's not like a circle, it's in the shape of a hexagon. We do see a lot of hexagonal imagery even in previous episodes. Like
What shape is Doctor Strange's shield? It has a hexagon on it, doesn't it? I don't know if
it's
that's.
kind of more of like a it's yeah, I think it's
It's got
got
every
more
shape on
sides.
it, but
Yes, it's everything. So,
I go Doctor Strange because I know their movie is together
yeah.
next. Like that's one of the next movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I would not be surprised to get a Doctor Strange cameo at the kind of the epilogue of this or something like that.
Yeah.
But um any predictions for next week?
Um,
We still haven't
I
seen
guess
it. Go ahead.
my prediction for next week, I think, will be we'll figure out that Wanda isn't in control. I
Mm,
think they'll start moving into this. It will kick off the third act
yeah.
where she's probably in her right mind,
Hmm.
and she and Vision are gonna help save TV Land,
Yeah.
and then Vision will die for real.
Sad day. Are there? Do we know? I can't remember. Are there 7 or 8 episodes?
I think it's 9.
Oh, 9. Okay. Well, then we are a little further away from the end than I thought. So, yeah, I'm not sure what like what's been great about the show is that it hasn't been terribly predictable. I think
Mhm.
the first 2 episodes get prepped for that time jump, and now we've kind of like actually this fourth episode takes place over these last the whole all like essentially the all 3 first episodes, and
Mm.
I'm hoping we get a little more of the I want to see them like going back in. Um,
The Sword
the
Agents.
sword agent, maybe Agent Franklin has does something to really screw something up, and Wanda loses it, and then like you said, loses control a little more.
Mhm.
I really want to know more about Vision's sentience. Seems he's it's weird because it's like he's alive and enough that she feels like she needs to hide things from him. But we obviously know that there's something's not right there. So
I feel like Vision is a combination of Wanda's memories of him, but also her own subconscious,
mm,
where she may really, really want to be with him, so she's going through all these things, but Vision is the one who keeps going, whoa, what's going up with these people? What's going on here? Wanda, is everything okay? And then Wanda's just like, no, no. And I feel like she's just ignoring her subconscious, and eventually it's going to spill over.
yep.
She's going to be like, wow, I've kind of messed things up for everybody here. And then enter third act CGI film. No.
You're right. I am really excited to see if they do something crazy at the end of this. The final, whatever that final showdown, whether it's a big fight or not, if they go the way of destroying the town or saving the town, or there's some cool possibilities. I also
Mhm.
think it's interesting. We swords focus at least previously. Swords focus seemed to be with threats from space. So I'm wondering if that's hinting toward this or if that's like this is just kind of something they're doing because it's like they needed an agency and so they sword. I don't know.
Yeah, I know in the comics it's a lot more alien space based, their organization, and they've made some changes. Like it's sentient world,
Yeah.
observe and report whatever. Um, wherein this, I think it's sentient weapon.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of everything.
Yeah, right. What is the sin weapon? Can you use your fist?
AI, aliens.
Jin.
Yeah.
Wanda.
Your TV is attacking you.
Cool. Any last thoughts before we sign off?
Um, Paul Bettany is great, and I missed him in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's been the best part of this show, and I missed him, and I'm glad he'll probably be back in a larger role
Yeah,
for the
it'll
fifth
be
episode.
interesting to see. My guess is we're going to go with a much more split episodes in the
Mm-hmm.
future where it's, I don't know if it'll be half and half, but maybe 2/3 or 3/4 division and then 1/3 or 1/4 kind of the sword
Yeah.
team. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this was a nice change up. I'm looking forward to seeing more of them and am this week and weeks to come. So,
Yep.
yep. Well, thank
Yep.
you all for watching this video. If you like what you see, check out some of our stuff up in that corner. Just go to our channel. We have lots of things. Just go to whatthefanboy.com and find links to everything there, including our podcast that we put out once a week.
Yeah. Do it.
And until next week, we'll see you on the next TV Talk. Bye.
See you guys.